Once upon a time, in the lush kingdom of Veridonia, where emerald forests stretched as far as the eye could see and crystal-clear rivers meandered through lush valleys, there reigned a queen whose name echoed through the annals of time, Sophia the Magnificent. Her story was not merely that of a ruler, but a saga of unity, courage, and the unyielding pursuit of peace. Queen Sophia ascended to the throne in the wake of her father's untimely demise, inheriting a kingdom fraught with discord and division. Yet, from the moment she donned the crown, she vowed to chart a different course, one built not on the foundations of strife, but on the pillars of unity and understanding. Her journey began with the fractious noble houses of Veridonia, each vying for supremacy within the royal court. Determined to quell the simmering tensions, Queen Sophia convened a grand council, gathering the lords and ladies of the realm beneath the vaulted ceilings of her palace. With her honeyed words and keen intellect, she brokered peace where there had once been only animosity, forging alliances that spanned generations. But Queen Sophia's vision extended far beyond the marble halls of her palace. It encompassed every corner of her kingdom, from the bustling markets of the capital to the farthest reaches of the countryside. With a retinue of loyal advisors at her side, she embarked on a journey that would take her to the very heart of Veridonia, seeking to mend the fissures that threatened to tear her beloved realm asunder. In her travels, Queen Sophia encountered a tapestry of cultures and customs, each as vibrant and unique as the next. Rather than shunning these differences, she embraced them, recognizing that diversity was the very essence of her kingdom's strength. Through festivals and celebrations, she brought together people from all walks of life, weaving a tapestry of unity that stretched from one end of Veridonia to the other. Yet, even as Queen Sophia worked tirelessly to unite her people, a shadow loomed on the horizon: the neighboring kingdom of Draconia, ruled by the tyrannical King Alexander. With his armies massing on Veridonia's borders, war seemed inevitable, a tempest on the horizon, threatening to engulf the realm in chaos. Undeterred, Queen Sophia marshaled her forces, both on the battlefield and in the halls of diplomacy. She sought alliances with neighboring kingdoms, forging bonds of friendship and mutual defense that would prove crucial in the days to come. And as the drums of war grew ever louder, she stood as a beacon of hope for her people, unwavering in her resolve to defend Veridonia's freedom at any cost. The fateful day arrived when Draconia's legions descended upon Veridonia like a tide of darkness, their banners fluttering in the wind like the wings of some malevolent beast. Yet, against all odds, Queen Sophia's forces held firm, bolstered by the courage of their queen and the unity of their cause. In a pitched battle that would be sung of in ballads for centuries to come, they emerged victorious, driving back the invaders and securing Veridonia's independence once and for all. And so Queen Sophia's triumph became legend, a tale of courage in the face of adversity, of unity prevailing over division, and of one woman's indomitable spirit lighting the way for generations yet unborn. In the hearts of her people, she would forever be remembered as more than a queen. She was a beacon of hope, a guiding light in their darkest hour, a true symbol of everything Veridonia stood for. In the heart of the ancient kingdom of Astoria, nestled amidst rolling hills and towering forests, stood the majestic castle of Eldoria, home to the royal family who had ruled the land for generations. At its helm now sat Queen Isabella, a woman of remarkable strength and grace, determined to chart a new course for her realm. Isabella's ascension to the throne had come amid whispers of treachery and betrayal, her reign overshadowed by the sins of her forebears. For centuries, the kingdom of Astoria had been plagued by corruption and cruelty, its people oppressed and downtrodden. But Isabella was determined to break the cycle of tyranny and usher in a new era of peace and prosperity. As she stood upon the balcony of the castle, gazing out across the sprawling landscape below, Isabella felt the weight of responsibility settle upon her shoulders. She knew that the path ahead would not be easy, that there were those who would seek to undermine her at every turn. But she was undaunted, her resolve as unyielding as the mountains that surrounded her kingdom. With a firm hand and a gentle heart, Queen Isabella began her quest for redemption. She convened councils and assemblies, inviting the lords and ladies of the realm to voice their concerns and grievances. Through diplomacy and compromise, she sought to bridge the divides that had torn her kingdom asunder, laying the groundwork for a future of unity and cooperation. But Isabella's vision extended beyond the walls of the castle. It encompassed every corner of her kingdom, from the bustling cities to the farthest reaches of the countryside. With a retinue of loyal advisors at her side, she embarked on a journey that would take her to the very heart of Astoria, seeking to mend the fractures that threatened to tear her beloved realm apart. As Queen Isabella traveled through the land, she encountered people of all walks of life, peasants and nobles, merchants and farmers, each with their own hopes and dreams, their own fears and aspirations. She listened to their stories, offering solace and support where it was needed most, and vowing to do everything in her power to make their lives better. Yet, even as Isabella worked tirelessly to unite her people, a shadow loomed on the horizon, the specter of war. For centuries, Astoria had been locked in a bitter conflict with its neighboring kingdom, Eldoria, their armies clashing on blood-soaked battlefields with no end in sight. Determined to break the cycle of violence, Queen Isabella sought a different path, a path of peace and reconciliation. She reached out to the rulers of Eldoria, extending an olive branch in the hopes of ending the centuries-old feud that had torn their lands apart. Through diplomacy and compromise, she brokered a historic peace treaty, bringing an end to generations of bloodshed and laying the groundwork for a future of cooperation and mutual respect. But peace would not come easily, for there were those within Isabella's own court who opposed her at every turn. The nobles, grown fat and wealthy off the spoils of war, saw the prospect of peace as a threat to their power and privilege. They conspired in the shadows, plotting to undermine the queen's efforts and plunge the kingdom back into chaos. Undeterred by the machinations of her enemies, Queen Isabella pressed forward with her quest for peace. She traveled to the courts of neighboring kingdoms, seeking allies and forging alliances that would bolster her position and strengthen her resolve. And as the drums of war grew ever louder, she stood as a beacon of hope for her people, unwavering in her determination to defend Astoria's freedom at any cost. But even as Isabella worked tirelessly to secure the future of her kingdom, she could not shake the feeling that something darker was lurking on the horizon. Whispers of rebellion echoed through the halls of the castle, rumors of unrest spreading like wildfire through the countryside. And in the depths of the forest, shadowy figures moved unseen, their faces hidden beneath hoods and cloaks. As tensions reached a boiling point, Queen Isabella knew that she must act swiftly to prevent disaster. She called upon her most trusted advisors, rallying them to her side as she prepared to confront the forces arrayed against her. With every decision she made, she kept the welfare of her people foremost in her mind, knowing that their safety and security depended on her leadership. And so, as the sun set on the eve of battle, Queen Isabella stood at the head of her army, her heart heavy with the weight of responsibility. But she was not alone, for behind her stood the brave men and women of Astoria, ready to lay down their lives in defense of their queen and their homeland. And as the first rays of dawn broke over the horizon, they marched forth to meet their destiny, united in their determination to forge a new future for their kingdom. The battlefield was a maelstrom of chaos and confusion, the clash of steel and the cries of the wounded echoing across the blood-soaked plains. Queen Isabella fought at the forefront of her army, her sword flashing in the sunlight as she cut down her foes with a skill and ferocity that belied her stature. But even as the tide of battle turned in her favor, Isabella could sense that victory would not come easily. The enemy fought with a desperation born of desperation, their ranks bolstered by dark magic and unholy alliances. And amidst the chaos, a figure emerged from the shadows, a figure clad in black armor, his eyes burning with a malevolent light. As the figure advanced upon her, Isabella knew that she faced a foe unlike any she had encountered before. His strength was beyond mortal reckoning, his swordsmanship unmatched by any she had ever seen. But she did not falter, for she knew that the fate of her kingdom hung in the balance, and that she alone stood between her people and oblivion. With a cry of defiance, Queen Isabella charged into battle, her sword flashing in the sunlight as she met her foe blow for blow. The clash of steel rang out like thunder, the ground beneath their feet shaking with the force of their blows. And as the battle raged on, Isabella felt a fire burning within her, a fire fueled by the love of her people and the determination to see her kingdom restored to its former glory. As the sun set on the battlefield, the last echoes of battle faded into the night, leaving behind a scene of devastation and despair. But amidst the carnage, there stood one figure, a figure clad in gleaming armor, her sword held aloft in triumph. Queen Isabella had emerged victorious, her enemies vanquished, and her kingdom safe once more. But victory had come at a great cost, for many brave souls had fallen in battle, their lives given in defense of their queen and their homeland. And as Isabella surveyed the battlefield, she felt a pang of sorrow in her heart, a sorrow for those who had given their lives so that others might live in peace. And so, as the sun rose on a new day, Queen Isabella vowed to honor the memory of those who had fallen, to build a kingdom worthy of their sacrifice. With a renewed sense of purpose, she set about the task of rebuilding Astoria, laying the foundations for a future of peace and prosperity. And as the years passed, Queen Isabella's legacy endured, her name spoken with reverence and admiration by all who knew her story. For she was more than a queen, she was a symbol of hope, a beacon of light in a world shrouded in darkness. And though her reign may have ended, her spirit lived on, guiding her kingdom towards a brighter tomorrow.